Welcome, my beautiful people. So this is our now fifth party of biology paper 2 with random questions from different past papers. Now here we want to look at the urinary system. So figure 3.0 shows part of the urinary system. So here is excretory system. So excretory system. So excretory system is a system that is responsible for excretion. Now excretion in biology is considered to be the removal. So the removal of waste metabolic products. So what we are saying is we eat food. When the food is done with the work that it does for the body, it becomes waste product, or it is considered as waste product. Now since they are waste product, the food values, the end products after the work is done, should not remain in our bodies because they might interfere with the life processes that may lead to unhealth, and at the end of the day it may cause death. So this process helps to get rid of all the toxins, all the waste product, all things that are considered to be useless. So that is what the excretion process does. So that's why we define as the removal of waste metabolic products. Now we have organs that are responsible for the removal of this. We have, like for example, we have the kidney. So the kidney is an excretory organ that excretes urine. So you need to remember urine is excreted by the kidney. Then you also need to look at what are these waste products that forms urine. So we have the urea, we have the uric acid, we have the ammonia, we have excess water, we have excess salt, to mention just the few. Then the second excretory organ is the skin. The skin also acts as an excretory organ because it excretes sweat. Then in sweat you can find excess salt, excess water, etc. Then we also have the lungs. The lungs play a role in removing waste products such as carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is a byproduct of respiration. So we inhale the oxygen. When that oxygen react with the glucose that we eat, we are going to have products like carbon dioxide, water, and energy. So the energy is now what we are going to use to do the work. Then the carbon dioxide at that point must be treated as a waste product, and it has to be excreted. It has to be removed by the lungs. So the lungs remove carbon dioxide, skin remove sweat, kidney remove urine. Then at sometimes a liver can also be considered as one of the excretory organ, but we are not going to focus much on that. Now, out of the organs that I've mentioned here, this question is under the kidney. So the kidney is a bean-like shaped organ, and a kidney has so many important roles because it plays also in the endocrine system. If we say endocrine system, on top of each kidney there are glands known as adrenal gland. So if we look at adrenal gland as an endocrine gland, it secretes the hormone known as adrenaline. So the adrenaline is secreted to prepare one for an emergency. So it prepares us in situation where we need to be very active for us to survive. For example, let's say you you give yourself a thought of where you are, maybe encountering a ghost or maybe a lion or something that you consider to be dangerous. So your heart will start pumping fast. So why is the pumping of the heart so fast? So that energy is transferred to all the muscles so that you can run if the survival requires you to run. Now, away from the adrenal and the adrenaline being the endocrine, the kidney now plays an important role also in excretion of urine, as we've stated earlier. Now we have some parts like O, P, Q, and R. The first question, which is A1, name the parts labeled O, Q, and R. So O is a vessel. A vessel is a tube-like structure in which blood passes. Now, there are vessels that were made for transporting deoxygenated blood with carbon dioxide, and there are also those that were meant to transport oxygenated blood. So now from the picture, how can you tell that this vessel is transporting carbon dioxide? So mostly it is shaded. So excuse me. So O is shaded. Therefore, we can say that this is carrying carbon dioxide. So a vessel carrying carbon dioxide should be a vein. Now, since this is a main vein, so it is collecting deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body toward the heart. Therefore, O is a vena cava. Remember, a vena cava is the largest vein that we have in our body. We move on to Q. So Q is also a vessel, but not for blood. Q is a vessel for urine from the manufacturer, which is the kidney, to the storage, which is the bladder. So which vessel transports urine from the manufacturer to the storage? So that is ureter. Don't confuse ureter with urethra. Urethra, it is now the disposing of urine from the body to the environment. What of R? R is urinary bladder. So why have I added urinary? So to differentiate this bladder from gallbladder. We have gallbladder. So to differentiate that bladder, we put urinary so that the marker, or in general, a person can remember that we are dealing with the bladder with the kidney. Then number 3, suggest 3 substances excreted by the excretory organ shown in figure 3.0. We know it's urine. So in urine, we have uric acid, we have urea, we have ammonia, we have excess salt, we have excess water, etc. Now give one example of an osmoregulatory function of the kidney. So when we look at osmoregulation, it has to be the maintenance. So it has to be the maintenance of ions and water. So we can say to balance water level in blood. Right, so if we look at balancing, this is where the hormone ADH or vasopressin comes into play. So remember, ADH stands for antidiuretic hormone produced by the pituitary gland, transported by blood from the brain up to the kidney. So during the formation of urine, if there is less water in your body, this hormone will make sure that the cells of the kidney will reabsorb water from the urine back into blood so that the level is maintained. Identify 2 disorders that might affect the excretory system. So for disorders, we are just looking at the disease that affects the the kidney, or that can result in kidney failure. So for this question, guys, what do you think? What do you think is or are the answers? Are we talking about the kidney failure, or maybe we are talking of certain diseases that causes kidney failure? So for this question, I want you guys to come in. We have question 2 under the same topic. Table 2 shows the concentration of various substances in blood plasma, glomerular, filtrate, and urine. So substance, we have urea, glucose, salt, protein, blood plasma, glomerular filtrate, urine. So the glomerular filtrate, it is the point before the waste product becomes the urine. So at this point, the reabsorption process can still take place. So A1, name the process responsible for the formation of glomerular filtrate. So remember, this process is taking place at what we call we have the Malpighian body. We call it Malpighian body, consisting of Bowman capsule and glomerulus. So the process that occurs at this region is known as pressure filtration. So it involves pressure for waste product to pass through, or sometimes you may call this one as ultra filtration. Which of the substances in table 2 above does not pass through the glomerulus during filtration? So to identify this, we are going to check what is in plasma but absent in glomerular filtrate and urine. So we can see that protein is the answer. Why have we gone for protein? Because we can see there is nothing in glomerular filtrate, and also in urine it's not there. Give a reason for your answer. So because there, so we can say because it's too large to pass through the hose. Then explain why the concentration of urea in the glomerular filtrate is much less than the concentration of urea in urine. So we can say, we are taught to explain, so we can say because urine is a final waste product to be excreted. Now outline the internal structure of the kidney. So for an internal structure of a kidney, we have some layers that you need to understand. So for internal structures, I'm just going to list them. We have like cortex, we have medulla, we have papilla. So you can now outline them. So papilla, we have renal pyramid, we have colics, we have so many. Even the nephron is there. Okay, we move on to the next question. Figure 3.0 below shows a section through a nephron. So a nephron is now a basic unit of a kidney. So this is where now the manufacture of urine is done. So this is like the industrial area where this urine is done. So as we can see, we have parts like J, K, and L. So the first question is, name the parts labeled J. So J is this one. This is our J. So that is a glomerulus. What of K? K is this one. A U-shaped like E, that's a Bowman's capsule. Then for L, L, so this is called collecting duct, because this is what collects the urine to the bladder. Now suggest 3 substances that are not filtered out at J. So at J, the substances that cannot be filtered, number 1, we have red blood cells, white blood cells, they can't pass through the O's, proteins, fats. So to answer this question easy, what cannot pass through the glomerulus are those that are in larger sizes. Explain what would happen at J if the coiling of the blood capillary was increased. So this could result in increase of pressure filtration. Now name the hormone that causes the reabsorption of water in the kidney and the organ where it is produced. So that is ADH, antidiuretic hormone. The name of organ, that is, the organ is the brain. To specify, pituitary gland. So we end here. At least we've looked at some questions that involves excretion.